I got into a discussion recently with someone I'm in regular contact with who believes a lot of things that I don't accept, all of them supernatural, and with nothing that resembles evidence, but she thinks is evidence, or she may think is evidence, but is actually not. And our recent discussion was about chakras and genetics/cancer. She suggested that I look up Barbara Brennan and watch something called Quest for Cures, as she thought they would prove to me that chakras were real and that conventional cancer treatment was bogus and that it was all just some sort of plot by big business to shove drugs down people's throats or something like that. So I followed these suggestions. I printed out a hard copy of the Wikipedia page on Barbara Brennan. Apparently she studied physics at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and worked at NASA. But the stuff about chakras, she learned about them at unaccredited institutions, and she started an unaccredited institution herself. So, yeah, I don't think she was a very reliable source on the whole chakra thing. As for the genetics/cancer Quest for Cures situation, I searched for the videos on YouTube, which are hosted by a channel called The Truth About Cancer. I googled it. It's a website. Featured on the homepage of this website, Truth About Cancer, is no less than Mike Adams, the health ranger himself, who has a reputation for being anti-science and essentially believing every conspiracy theory under the sun. So that was a red flag in my head. That was a warning that told me that I wouldn't be hearing anything I haven't heard before and which hasn't been debunked already quite a few times. But I still did more digging, and among the first criticism I came across of Quest for Cures was a blog post on science-based medicine, on the science-based medicine website by Harriet Hall. Apparently, Quest for Cures was produced by a gentleman named Ty Bollinger, who is a CPA and a former bodybuilder, has no training in science or medicine. And he just went into this project with his mind already made up. As Harriet Hall phrased it in her article, confirmation bias had a field day. And Mike Adams is one of the people he interviewed for, let's face it, it's a hit piece. It's a propaganda hit piece, as it only tells this guy's side of the story. It's just confirming what this guy already believes, and he just interviews quacks. Mike Adams, among them, he's also interviewed Joseph Mercola and Stanislaw Krzinski, two names I recognize, and who I have heard, from what I've heard, they peddle pseudoscience, and they are not very good sources. But anyway, Mr. Bollinger's went into this thing. He only talked to people who would tell him what he wanted to hear, would confirm what he already believed. And he wouldn't talk to anybody who worked in conventional cancer treatment, oncologists, cancer researchers, any of that. So Harriet Hall likened it to a trial where the prosecution was given carte blanche and no defense was allowed. That didn't really bother me so much. I mean, people will believe what they want to believe. regardless of whether there's any evidence to back it up. And all they have to go on are logical fallacies and confirmation bias, which they think are evidence. Okay, you do you. But again, from Harriet Hall's article, she mentioned that they talked about Angelina Jolie and her double mastectomy to sort of lessen her risk of getting breast cancer. A chiropractor apparently said that she shouldn't have done that. That she should have known that genetics don't determine life. Those are the exact words from the Harriet Hall article. And that she should have been able to turn her BRCA gene off with diet and lifestyle. As if that fucking works. I mean, cancer cells don't give two shits of what your diet or lifestyle is like, what's going on in your head or anything like that. They do what they do. And cancer is a game of Russian roulette, and we're all playing, whether we want to or not. And some of us just aren't all that lucky. And I myself have a family history of cancer from my father's side of the family, and if I get it, then I have to accept it. And it couldn't pop. And we can only increase or decrease our risk of getting cancer. That's it. If we're unlucky enough to get cancer, this blame the victim bullshit just pisses me off so much. For me, it's really not all that different from rape apologetics. You didn't do ABC, you did XYZ, ergo you were asking for it. I mean, there's holding people accountable for their actions, and there's blaming the victim. The line is there, people. But anyway, blaming cancer patients for getting cancer, regardless of their lifestyle, is beyond reprehensible. If you have cancer, you didn't deserve it. It's not your fault. And yeah, it just... Anyway, moral of the story, you do you. Just don't do it at other people's expense. Don't try to impose your values or your beliefs on other people, especially if there is no evidence to back them up and all you have going for you is arguments from personal experience and a laundry list of other logical fallacies and confirmation bias. If you want people to, for instance, institute policies which affect everybody else, make sure there's some truth behind the claims. So yeah, again, because beliefs, people act on their beliefs, and beliefs have consequences. Beliefs as much as actions have consequences, and not just for you, but for other people as well, for society at large. I mean, you live in a society, and we just have to accept the fact that in a pluralistic society, not everybody not everybody shares our values or our worldviews. And shit like that, shit like what's going on with Quest for Cures and chakras and all that. Quest for Cures, especially the part where, yeah, nobody should do medicine, it's bullshit, you're gonna die, it's gonna do more harm than good, you should go the so-called alternative medicine route. Yeah, that can't go unchallenged because it's harmful. And people have been known to die because of that. Whether you want to believe it or not, people have actually been known to die because of it. Yeah, I know conventional medicine isn't perfect, but then again, nothing is. But it just improves on what's there. The thing is, science-based medicine, yeah, there's a reason why it's called science-based medicine. It improves because it's looks at the wrinkles and tries to iron them out. I mean, medical science-based medicine now is a lot different from science-based medicine even 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, because things change. New ideas come along. That's essentially how science works. It's a self-correcting process, because anybody who works in science-based or evidence-based medicine, they're not afraid to admit when they're wrong or when something can be improved upon. Whereas anybody who believes in the supernatural, they will never admit when they're wrong. They cleave to their beliefs. You know what? If you want to go that route, if you're an adult, a consenting adult, and you don't want anything to do with science-based medicine, fine. Just don't impose it on everybody else, and don't deny everybody else even the option of using conventional medicine for anything. That's just selfish. I mean, the option should be there for those who want it. I repeat, you do you, just not at other people's expense. Thanks for listening to me ramble incoherently.